Hello and welcome back to Empyrion Galactic Survival. My name is Spanj and it's been a long time coming, but Alpha 12 has finally hit the experimental branch of Empyrion and it is looking like probably the biggest update released so far. There is so many changes and feature additions in this update. I cannot show them all to you in this video, lest we be here for many hours. So I have picked a number of features and changes to show you today, but there are many more in the official patch notes, and as always, I will link to those down below in the video description. So go over to the official forums, check out those full patch notes if you want to. Otherwise, if you're just interested in the highlight features, then I have them right here for you. One thing you should note first is that the devs have implemented a new database into the game code that handles all of the object IDs from now on, and without getting into all the detail and stuff, this basically means that you will need to start a new game. This goes for server owners as well. You will need to wipe. Old saves will work, but with errors, lots and lots of errors. When starting a new game, you should also be aware of some of the more subtle changes that might impact your normal gameplay loop. For new players, this is not so much of a problem, but for us veterans out there, you need to be aware that food like steaks and energy bars really don't cut it like they used to. The survival tool defense mode takes a lot longer to kill stuff now too. Plants grow slower, armor protects you less, and so on. Survival in general will be harder, but as always it will be a fun relearning curve for us all, I think. The weapons do get some buffs, and boosts also get some buffs as well, so it's not all bad, it's not all harder. There's just a lot more thinking to do with what setup you go with and what gear you equip yourself with before you go out. Anyway, it's just a heads up, so stay frosty, survivors. One of the first big changes you'll notice is the active detection system. On foot, you'll need to add the detector to your toolbar. Once there, select it and click to shoot it like you would a gun. The ping will reveal nearby points of interest, resources, etc., but only with basic info. To reveal more detail, you'll need to ping again once within 300 meters. The same applies for SVs, HVs, and now Seaveys too. Once you've added a detector to your vessel, it will appear on the toolbar automatically. Scroll to select it and fire it like you would any weapon. The ping will reveal nearby points of interest. Once again, you'll have to get closer to reveal more detail. Later on, you might find yourself taking on a POI in space, but you should be careful. Some POIs will now call for reinforcements that come in the form of one or more capital vessels to actively defend that POI. Furthermore, these ships and even the POIs themselves might be sporting some more powerful weapons that you might not be used to. Alpha 12 allows the NPC factions, their bases and their ships too, to use player turrets now. The updated registry is much more of a valuable tool now. You can actually set waypoints that act as warp points. So once you're in orbit, you don't even need to set or lock. You can just point and go straight to warp. And these waypoints also persist from orbit to ground. So you can now see planet side waypoint from orbit. NPCs have been given a voice with the new dialogue system. This goes beyond actual NPC characters. It could be a number of objects in the game you can now interact with for a variety of reasons and activities, such as missions and even trading, etc. Locked doors might now require keycards instead of codes to open. From now, it might be the case that if you find a locked door, look for the guy in charge. He usually has a key. Most of us are used to seeing teleporters in the game, sometimes usable, sometimes not, but never have they been in our own bases or on our own ships. Now you can add teleporters to bases and CVs. Just select the destination and go. They only work if neither the source or the destination are moving, of course, and shields in both must be down. The teleporters on bases can teleport up to 30 light years. This is going to be a huge change, especially for orbital bases, and even possibly removing the need to have doors and entrances in your ships now. Space has had a big upgrade in Alpha 12, with all new gas giants and moons, not to mention the new detection system making space something you can feasibly explore, and the new reinforcements making them dangerous. But also big, literally big. The new galaxy map should show you what I mean. Each star can have a system of planets around it, each with multiple possible moons too. This game can now potentially support millions of star systems for you to explore. In the galaxy map, you can use control click to set a route. Once you have warped somewhere, you can see your warp history separate from lanes you have yet to explore. Along with all this new space is territory and new factions like the Legacy, the Krieg, designed and built by J. Randall himself, as well as our old favourites, of course, the Polaris, Xerax and Talon. Titanium and ice have been added to the game. Ice is mined from space as like a normal asteroid. It can be turned into water via a constructor. Titanium comes in the form of asteroids or deposits. Titanium has replaced Sathium in some recipes, and Sathium is much rarer now. Hardened steel blocks use titanium. Combat steel still uses Sathium, which will make obtaining combat steel a bit harder and more endgame. Of course, once you've made all that water, it now stacks up to 4,000, making it much easier to manage in storage. In fact, a lot of items have their stack sizes changed, and gone is the old 999 of everything in favor of nice round numbers. For you builders, a few new additions should keep you creating amazing things. You can now use undo with a multi-tool, which is nice. You can also adjust the available torque on vessels from the statistics page, so you can get that ship flying just how you like it. CPU limits for HVs and SVs have been increased, so people like me can get their stupid tanks working again. And if you still need more CPU, then the advanced core should help. This super rare advanced core is not yet obtainable in the current version of experimental, outside of the item menu, of course. This core will remove all CPU limitations from the vessel or base it's installed into. The devs are still working on a balanced and reasonable way for you to acquire this core, like I just said, but for now you can use the item menu to update those ships that CPU killed. The final item I want to cover in this video is that if you go over 100% power usage in your ships or your bases, your generators will now start to take damage. So you need to test very carefully all your ships and bases now to make sure that even when they're charging shields or using all the devices, that you're not going over 100% generator use. Otherwise, you know, boom. That's all I am going to cover in this video, but there are so many changes I have left out. I would strongly recommend, even if you've never looked at patch notes before, at least giving these ones a quick glance. No doubt there is something on there you will wish I covered in this video. Again, link down below in the video description. Alpha 12 has a lot of changes and some great new features I can't wait to get playing. I'll be starting a mini let's play through the various experimental releases, but just a warning, because it's the experimental build, there will likely be several restarts along the way, and the same might go for your playthroughs too. But that's all from me. Let me know in the comments below what you're looking forward to the most, or maybe there's something here you think is a bad idea. I want to hear from you all, and as always, thank you so much for watching. It was greatly appreciated, and hopefully I'll see you next time. Until then, take care. Bye bye.